This episode is dedicated to a young bloodclaw named Bran Sabrewulf from across the pond, who lost his battle to cancer earlier this year. But in his memory, we will fight this plague called cancer while he is in the halls of Valhalla rooting us on. We flock to people doing this crazy podcast thing Spencer, Phil, and sometimes Eldanesh do to help us escape the crazy shit in our lives, whether it be cancer, which can eat a bag of dicks, or other mental and physical ailments one might have. We all need a place to punch in and be amongst our hobby and gaming brothers and sisters and, well, whatever you identify with. So grab a drink and join the guys on the podcast. And, oh, one more thing, and this comes especially from my heart here on the show. Fuck you, cancer. Thanks to the Fredonia Battle Bunker for sponsoring this show and making sure that we have this one dedicated to Bran Sabrewulf.
Warning. The following show contains explicit language.
From the Punch-In Studios on the shores of Lake Erie in northern Pennsylvania, this is the radio program for war gamers, 40K nerds, and beer drinkers. It's your best source for live 40K podcasting that combines the two things we love the most, 40K and drinking beer. This is the 40K show with a head on it guaranteed to leave you a little buzzed. You're listening to the 40K podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to the 40K podcast. My name is Spencer.
My name is Philip.
And we're joined remotely by the one, the only, the badass of artistic badasses, Eldanesh. What's up, man? How are you, man? How are you doing?
Good to be here.
Good.
Finally got things going, rocking and rolling again.
No shit. We actually started only 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. And you know what? Before the show started, I actually still said to Phil, I said, you need to run around my house and break something, like smash a TV, something that we can't repair or replace immediately. I felt not enough stress to start this.
I gave you a rundown timer.
I know, it felt great.
I gave you a clock timer.
It felt good. So
I felt like I was in a tournament. We had a clock timer.
Yeah, it's great. I'm good. Generally, on the normal shows, we would say like, hey, since the last show, this happened.
Right.
Well, since the last show, I woke up.
Mr. Harding, what have you done in the past 24 hours?
Recorded and then edited, and then I took a nap, and then got ready for this show. That was it. I did nothing really 40K related other than getting ready for this show. So looking at Space-Wolf stuff that we looked at before, making sure we had all of the things we had from the previous show. This show means a lot to us. We wanted to make sure that we redid this show because of the dedication, because of the Fredonia Battle Bunker.
Absolutely.
They were very, very excited about it. Mech Space-Wolf is, way back in the day, huge Space-Wolf player. He runs around with a wolf mask and a horn just for shits and giggles.
I think he's a class 3 clear.
Oh, well, he's a wolfen. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, we muted.
No, we're not muted.
Oh,
we're actually recording.
It's recorded, right?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the
it's
point.
Recorded, right? We're not lying.
Yeah, I mean, it's how the show kind of works. We press record and we talk.
We just look pretty.
Yeah, well, one of us does.
I'm saving the tatas. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, it is Happy Booby Month. You know, make sure you appreciate tatas across the world. If you have them, thanks for having them. If you don't have them, appreciate those that have them.
There are some that have them that shouldn't. You know what I mean, as far as a gamer.
Yeah, I was probably in that category. I mean, at
As
one
was
point I was
I.
like 250.
It's like a trial by fire.
Yeah, I had some of my old game shirts I keep around because I can't wear them more because I lost so much weight.
You know, you almost did lose a bet to where you had to wear one of those.
I can't believe I went from 2X to
Listen,
large.
it's like the Aquila. Never look back.
I'm like a Starbucks.
Always look forward.
I'm like a Starbucks coffee now. I'm Vente.
I'm a grande right now. Unofficial sponsor.
And
Call me.
doesn't Vente mean 3 or some stupid shit like that? I don't think it has anything related to coffee.
See? I don't know.
Frog.
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
know.
like size frog. So, anyways, let's get into.
Mex says class 2.
He's class 2.
I thought you had this thing muted.
I don't mute shit. It's just I mute when I'm gonna say something fucked up. I make sure that I do that. That's why the button's over by me.
All right, I understand. But anyway, we have an action-packed episode.
We do.
I don't know if we can get through in 2 hours.
I think we can. I'm very no, not at all.
No?
I'm not. I have no idea how long this is going to go. As long as it ends by Monday, I think I'll be okay. I'll only miss 2 days of work.
Well, I have to get the kids tomorrow.
Yeah. So welcome to Space Wolves.
Yeah, episode 3. Wow.
Yeah. Time flies.
Got a BOGO
it was
this
just
week.
it was just yesterday that we were recording episode 2.
I know. So big shout out to all the listeners watching us. I should say.
Yeah, thanks for joining us live. And if
on
you're
the
not
Twitch
joining
channel.
us live, thanks for listening to the recorded part, wherever you're doing it, whether it's YouTube or on the RSS feeds for the audio. We do release both video of this on YouTube and audio, and we try to do it about the same day.
Right.
So we're talking about Space Wolves.
Yes.
Just a little bit about the Codex, I guess, to start it off. We all know the Primarch, Lehman Russ.
Who?
Super badass. The way that Black Library has portrayed him in the Primarch series.
I just got done listening to it like last week.
If you don't like Space Wolves, or they've done a very good job.
Yes.
Especially, like I've said this before, but Toby Longworth needs to narrate my life. Like, he could say things like, and Spencer woke up and took a shit, and it was a great shit. And everyone would be entertained, and they would want to know more. They're like, is there corn in there? Did he have...
Behind the podcast door, Spencer woke up in a bellow ensued.
Yeah, like, just to have that, it would...
Phil arrived with phone and laptop in hand, ready to go.
If I won $1 million tomorrow, I would pay him to follow me around for one day.
That would be cool. You know what?
I'll fly you in.
Hey, Black Library, if you know Toby.
Yeah, like, thanks for making my drives to work amazing. Really, really appreciate it. So they are from Fenris,
yes,
where there are no wolves.
There are no wolves on Fenris.
Yeah, they do like to hang out on a place called the Fang, and their color is shockingly Space Wolves gray.
Now, depending on how you interpret that gray, I look at it as a powder blue.
Or a light blue.
It's periwinkle with a little less purple.
Talk to me, George. You are the BAMF when it comes to painting.
But I just wanted to just jump in here. I was going to say, like, I was off air talking to Phil about this. If you guys haven't read the Horus Heresy series, any of that, I mean, if you want to get into Space Wolves, the one to read now is Wolfsbane. And I just listened to that back in May, I think it was. It's the book that came out prior to the one that's out right now, and I've never been. Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of Space Wolves, but I've been a bigger fan of Thousand Suns, and so of course you know that there's some animosity between them. And after listening to Wolfsbane, I am a full blown Space Wolves fan. After that. It sort of, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but it's basically
I'll give the people a spoiler right now.
It's Lehman Russ versus Horus, and right. It is just I've next to A Thousand Suns, it is probably my favorite book now.
I can give them a spoiler now. You were a Blood Angel supporter yesterday.
Oh, I still am.
Up until the FAQ, now I think you're just a Space Wolf supporter now.
Great book. And if you want to get into the fluff of the Space Wolves, that's a good one. Prospero Burns is another good one. and then 1,000 Suns. Although it is mostly 1,000 Suns, but there's quite a bit of Space Wolf action in that too. If you really want to get deep into the history of the Space Wolves from a fluff perspective, me being the fluff guy, right? Those are your books, right?
Spencer's the fluffy player.
So when I was younger, I used to think, 8-foot space marines are badass. Like they're these giant monster humans that can kick a hole through a wall and they don't give a shit, right?
Right.
Then they come up with they come up with the Primarchs, and Lehman Russ will huff and puff and just fucking knock your house down. Like they're huge. I shouldn't be this geeky about the Primarchs.
He reminds me of our gaming buddy Roberto.
Yeah, like I'm gonna punch a Titan in the face. I don't care, and I'm always and shockingly, I am always well versed. I speak very, very well, and I only yell once in a while. It's the complete opposite of me. I can barely stumble through words, and I yell at
especially
everybody.
in Wolfsbane, when he has this. I mean, all of the Primarchs really have daddy issues. I mean, let's be honest.
Doesn't everybody have daddy
I'm
issues?
shocked
All
that
of
the
them have
Primarchs didn't turn
daddy
into
issues,
strippers.
okay? But
the
the one who really doesn't give a shit about daddy is Lehman Russ, and in fact, I mean, he's like almost like this Odysseus kind of figure, like challenging the gods. Gosh, I really want to give away some spoilers, but I don't want to do it too much because I know it only came out like 6 months ago. But
I want to know.
The best part is they like really develop his character. I mean, he's not just this dumb animal. I mean, I think that's the whole thing. If you want dumb animals, if you want dumb, well, not dumb, but you want like just one-sided vicious fighters, go for World Eaters. But the great thing about the Space Wolves is they really dig into that kind of Norse mythology, and they blend it so well with 40K. And I want to say it's Aaron Dembski Bowden who wrote that, but I could be wrong.
Well,
But just,
ADB.
the development of the characters in there, you want to think of them as like these dumb brutes, and they're really not. They're very, very intelligent.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're probably more intellectual than the average bear, of course, but something like that. My concern with that conversation is I still want to know what the Emperor's name is.
The Emperor.
No, he had to have had a name.
No, he's introduced
Charlie.
himself in books. That
Okay.
Hi, I'm the Emperor. Like if he got pulled over for speeding, and he gave
He
his
would use
driver's
some Jedi
license,
mind
it
trick
would
and
say
go from there.
it would say the Emperor.
No, I don't.
Speaking of the Emperor, and speaking of Aaron Dembski Bowden, Master of Mankind.
Yeah,
I don't
think
think you get a name there, but you want to learn something about the Emperor, that's your book.
Yeah, I listened to that, and that's where thank you, because that's where I got my inspiration from. Even though in that book, I think he's a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely get a side of him that you don't.
You're 10,000
regularly
peeps.
get.
Don't give a
Well,
hell about it.
they've had the Emperor. They've had the Emperor as sort of dissociated from everything for a very long time, and so when you finally get into his mind, it's almost like you're just like, what, God? Can I talk to God?
I think at some point, when we're 95, 96, and they try to finish and they've moved the story ahead enough that like the Emperor wakes up. I think that book's going to be one page.
I think when I'm in my grave,
it's just
my
be,
kids will Morse code
like,
the name.
The title will be The Emperor Awakens, and he's going to wake up and go, "What the fuck?" And that's it.
And
That's
be like,
the end of the book.
Will he do Thanos? Will he do Thanos? Be like,
click. I'm done. I spent years trying to tell you people I wasn't this. You spent thousands more worshiping me. We're out. I'm done. Like, I don't think that'll happen. But so, anyways,
he would probably smite everybody.
With a oh, you said Thanos, right? That's
he'd be like Thanos.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away the ending to that, but
yeah.
I'm just saying.
I wish that's a talent I wish I would have had. Anyways, let's dive into this.
Let's do it.
One of the first things that pops out is it's 77 data sheets, 27 unique stratagems. I guess there's some other ones that'll cover up.
And 22 pages of notes.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to cover for this one, so we are going to go kind of fast and hopefully keep the off-topic train at the station. Probably
keep your
won't
comments,
happen.
rules, etiquette aside.
Oh, well, I want to hear all the comments you have. Throw them in if you're live with us, throw them in the chat. If you're listening at a later date, throw them down in the comments below.
Absolutely.
Where you're seeing this video, or again, info@40kpodcast.com.
Yep.
And we'll go with all those. So out of the 6 warlord traits, I think what's very, very interesting is that due to a misprint in the English version of the Codex, there's also this new rule that was developed called you got to print some shit in PDF.
Yeah. I'm sorry about your damn luck.
Yeah, the day it came out, we all know this is old news.
2CP.
But in order to do that, to get the correct version, you got to ask your friendly local game store for a copy or print it out online. The one that you print online when it first came out was like a black and white version, and the stores were supposed to have a very nice full color. They went to Kinko's and printed that shit off, not like the $99 printer you have at your house. It was supposed to be printed out very nice. Probably didn't happen. It didn't affect the digital. Which is just one more reason why I preach the gospel of digital. I know this makes horrible audio, but I keep every rule that I need in a tablet, and I have it with me all the time. And
I can't wait to play 40K digitally. It'll save me so much
I don't
money.
want to ever do that.
Oh yeah, I do.
It's coming.
I mean, I would play on a digital board. I think that would be kind of sweet.
I
but
want
still
VR.
Want the
That'd be
models,
awesome.
And I still
like
want
a VR or something like that.
Yeah, we could do that. I would be okay with that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anywho,
VR. That would be
neat.
AR, man. AR is what's going to be. I'm sure it'll be that first.
Like, yeah.
Maybe even smell-o-vision. They'll have smell-o-vision too
for the AOS card game now.
Well, and they have AR for the iPhone game. I'm not sure if it's on Android or not, but the Titanicus game.
Freeblade.
Yeah,
Freeblade.
Freeblade.
You can put a
I
Freeblade
am
on your table.
Dedicated geek for Freeblade.
It's a good. My son was playing it by accident on my phone. He's becoming. It's right there. He's becoming.
Warms the heart.
Yeah, it does. I mean, every day.
You know what? Shut the hell up! I got 3 girls. I got My Little Pony.
Every day he wants to play adventures. Every day.
I respect it.
And this is no shit. He's nicknamed them. And the Space Wolf is the legendary. And every time he flips the card, he's like, it's the legendary. Now imagine a 4-year-old with that deep. I mean, if I could find a beard and a flat hat for him, he's me. He's got the big ass ears. Like, look at those sons of bitches. And if I could find a flat cap that fit him and I could put a goatee beard on him, he would be me.
You know what would be cool?
Minus the swear words.
You know what would be cool?
He's my kid. And
you know what would be cool? Moving forward, unfortunately, you'd be like roll call in school. They'd be calling your name for your son. Your son named Nameless.
Right.
Like, didn't I call your name? Like, my name is Alfarius.
Right.
It's just like.
And if I'm not here, his name is Alfarius, and I am here.
Anyway.
So we do have some special rules with this. As always, we have Warriors of the Fang, which is basically, they shall know no fear, which is the same as all Space Marines.
Yep.
They are battle forged, so they will get the troops gain objective secured, which is straight across for every codex. One of the things I think is cool is they have Hunters Unleashed. So infantry,
like this.
bikers,
This is nice.
Cavalry, not cavalry. Those are 2 different words. It's cavalry. And dreadnought units that were charged, or made heroic intervention this turn, gains +1 to hit rolls in the fight phase.
Right.
On top of that, characters that do heroic intervention can go 6 inches away versus the normal 3. So when we talked in the FAQ, that's a big deal. Now with you can heroically intervene even if your opponent didn't do anything that round. You can still jump. That's a free 6-inch move to go punch some other dude in the face that they forgot about. It's really cool. It's a good advantage for them.
My concern with that is it almost. I don't even know if it would give too much of an advantage. Do you think?
I don't think so, because it's +1 to hit, and the 6 inches. If this was +1 to wound, I think it would be a lot more powerful. But +1 to hit, while it does allow some things that we'll get into, Thunderhammer is bullshit, but +1 to wound overall would have been good, and then allowing these +1s to hit would have made it super powered. So I like that it's balancing it out. It fits wolves.
Yeah.
I think they're better at punching you in the face.
They
because,
should be.
Rob, when we play Rob, he has a lot of units that can't Overwatch. And one of his favorite lines is like, it growls at you and says bad shit about your mom. Like, that's his Overwatch.
You may run like Maze, but you hit for like shit.
So if we were playing first edition Age of Sigmar, he'd be able to write his own rules about that. Like, if I say something about your mom that's really bad and makes you mad, one of your models dies.
There's some people that burn their shit. You better not be saying that kind of stuff.
Right. So again, this is very similar to the Red Thirst toted by the Vampire Marines, but again, instead of the +1, it's the +1 to wound.
Right.
Our brothers in the Wolvens, they get +1 to hit in the fight phase.
Right.
And again, it's super nice. I think the best part about it though is the heroic intervention, because wolves have, I don't know, 250 different independent character, 250 characters that they can take, and the book
As
is
your class
half
2
characters.
stalker stated, it's going to take 2 hours just to go through all the special characters.
It's nuts.
Okay.
There's but that's
Hey Phil, can you take the Space Wolves on? Sure, guy.
again.
How many are
think,
these?
I think that makes the most sense though. If there was going to be a codex that was littered with characters all over the place, whether it's in elites or it's HQs or, wherever they are, it fits that the Legion now chapters
That's a Legion mentality, though.
are, every one of them wants to be an independent dude. Like they want, all of them want to be in charge. They all want to have songs sung about them. So there should be more
They want to be the
special
lone
characters.
wolf.
Yeah, that too.
Boom.
It fits. It fits with the genre that they've adapted to this. Well, it's Vikings, Norse. It fits very, very well.
We've seen the show on Hulu.
Yeah. So they get
very close to Red Thirst.
Yeah. So instead of warlord traits, they get sagas.
Right.
And these feature the deeds of legend.
This is what all that fuss was about.
This
all that
again,
fuss on Russ.
I really like all that. All Russ, no fuss.
Yeah, we got to write that down. That's a shirt.
I like that they've done this, and I like the added part to the sagas where if you complete a task, these deeds of legend, units within 6 inches get to level up and do cool bonus shit that the warlord does.
You might see this moving forward.
It's
a lot.
showing inspiration from stuff that's happened on the battlefield for the other units that you have in the narrative style. I really, really like that.
I like it. It's pretty cool.
The first one we'll talk about is Saga of the Warrior Born. The deed of legend is to slay an enemy character. There are 2 special characters that have this. Ragnar Blackmane, the oldest model I know of, minus Eldar
I don't think half our listeners were even born.
Probably
and if they
not.
were
I don't know if
still alive, they were probably in grade school.
Still an awesome model.
Yeah,
it's held up.
It's like this.
It's this.
It's still an awesome model.
Like all the Primaris look great behind him, and he's like,
he's like that meme. He's like that.
He reminds
he's
me
an emoji. He's like,
he's the guy from Christmas Story. Like, I can't put my arms down. For 30 years, I haven't been able to put him down. Crom also has this. We'll be talking about him later
he would
on.
look really cool in a Primaris body and redone. And I want to talk to you about the whole Primaris thing. And I was just wondering, this will be at the end.
Yeah.
You reminded me.
Oh, okay.
But I would like to see him redone with a Primaris body, or like an 8.0 edition model or something like that.
Well, they now have the there's a character out in the show Vikings. His name's Ragnar Rothbrooke.
Yeah.
That's Ragnar Blackmane.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Give him a model, and
you could probably even use, now that you're saying that, Blood Claw guy looks just like that
W.
guy.
Attell, if we could make a request on cool ass models coming from you, a Ragnar Lothbrok model. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That'd be kind of neat.
Your warlord will always be throwing the first punch with this. Even if they were charged by an enemy, you could call this the saga of, what did you say about my mom? Because no matter what you call it, though, it's junk.
What are you talking about?
Because Games Workshop has handed out always strikes first abilities like Oprah handing out cars.
Absolutely.
You get always strikes first, and you get always strikes first.
It happens first. If you're charging it, that's what matters, man. You go first.
But not when you're going against other stuff that has the same rule that always.
But
says
it goes off the turn.
I know, but it's meh. It's just it's me
fluffy.
To me that one is the, we have to give everybody something that's very, very similar. That's the filler. Let's give everybody we know always strikes first, and it balances out to nothing. And when I see some of those, then why were they there? So if you have something that counters, or allows you to break the rule, and everybody else has something that allows you to break the exact same rule in the exact same way, then don't have the rule, or bring back. I guess this is their
Then don't make
replacement for universal special rules that we used to.
Don't make Russ Jr. your warlord then.
That's true.
Okay.
Russ Jr. Nice.
Don't make the little puppy mad.
So it is one that they hand out.
And who else is the other one?
Who, Russ Jr.?
No, the other guy.
Oh, you mean Crom? You mean this guy?
Yep.
Oh shit. That didn't work.
It didn't work.
No.
You totally butchered us.
Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
That is good. That is where they got him to. The model looks like it too. Dig it. Totally dig it. Saga of the Wolfkin is next. So the deed of legend for this one is to slay a total of 5 models in the fight phase with your warlord. It is this one right off the bat is I've been kind of a proponent of there needs to be third-party people out there. I've seen a couple of them, but not to the liking. There needs to be something developed by someone. I'm asking for this to happen. I would buy a ton of them. Army independent trackers for the game, and not universal trackers. Not just how many command points do I have left, or how many of this do I have left, or that. For some of those armies that would work, but for this to be able to track some of the saga things that you have to do, or to have something that you could just put on the side to keep track of everything that's going on.
Okay.
I think would be a really nice addition. I've seen some MDF companies. I forget the name. There's one that was a Kickstarter I saw maybe 6 months ago, and then it just petered out. I don't know what happened to it, but it was like a box that you could roll dice into it, and it had a bunch of dials on it. And something like that, I'm hoping it hits market very soon, because with the amount of stuff that we need to keep track, not only in 40K, but the stuff you keep track of in Kill Team, I think it would be a very, very good thing to do.
3D printer companies, let's do this.
Yeah, print them out, right?
There's a whole episode right there.
Booyah, booyah, booyah.
I don't need models printed. I just need...
No, I don't want models printed. You need tokens.
Right. So... what does Saga of the Wolfkin let you do? Well, you gain an extra attack in the fight phase if you charged.
Right.
Where we're the target of a charge.
Right.
Performed a heroic intervention. So, like, all the time, since wolves are assault crazy maniacs, like, that's what you want to get, right?
Now, I had a question.
Yeah.
With this, is it cumulative, or is it in one round?
What do you mean?
Because it says at a glance. So, again, it's one of those things. When I first saw this... slay a total of 5 models in the fight phase with your warlord.
It's total. So you keep track of...
for me, I've been playing a lot of Xbox lately, so I need to, get an achievement. So I was like, do I have to kill 5? I'm like, I only have 4 attacks. Well, shit.
It's total. You keep track.
I know, but it was just one at a glance. I was like, I don't know if I want that one. Yeah,
you keep track of once you hit 5. So you kill 2 in this phase.
Right.
Go to another one, kill 2 in that one.
Well, this
is kind of like, so you slam your mean, muggin, beat stick warlord into something squishy in the early part, right? Throw them into cultists or guard or something that dies quick, easy, and fast that you're not going to get slogged down.
This
into
particular saga will go off the meta in your region.
Yeah. And then once he's got it, let him jet around the table, spreading the holy word of throat punches.
Right.
Hey,
you
get this and you get that. I think this is an easy one to attain, and it has bonuses that are applicable in the game.
I like it. And who has those?
Nice. Who has those? So Harold Deathwolf and Phil's favorite, Canis Wolfborn.
Canis the Anus?
That's
hate the fucking model. Fire. You're fired. I'm going to give you the Cobra. You're fired. Stupid. Let's just talk about that. Back in the day, these models were pretty. Okay? When they showed the White Dwarf back in the day, when they got all redesigned and whatnot, man, as soon as they released that Canis, the Anus, it looked like butt. Okay? I mean, no disrespect to the designer who made it, but come on, man. You inspired a third-party company to make a change that shook the whole gaming industry. Am I right? I mean, honestly, am I right? Because all of a sudden, next thing you know, we have a much better, looks like a hamster. Right, it's horrible. It was just a horrible model. But anyway, I digress. He's probably a really cool unit, but I think I've seen him once in a game. That particular model. But anyway, That's just me.
Yeah. So moving on as we go through the sagas of these sagas.
This is like a life's journey right now.
Right?
We haven't even started.
Come along with us. Saga of the Majesty. The deed of legend is to slay the enemy warlord with your warlord. So Super Merry Christmas, Logan Grimnar. He has this. Bjorn and the Stormcaller. Bjorn.
That's Bear.
Bjorn.
Nigel.
Nigel.
It's Bear. In
Bjorn.
the book, the one guy mispronounced his name. He called him Bear.
Oh, that's yeah.
Where's my boy in California? Big Jim. Remember? Bear.
Yep. So with this, you can automatically pass morale. In addition, if a character increases the range of any aura ability, excluding like exploding, healing bombs, battlesmith, ability for relics in the Fang, and effects of psi powers. So like Great Wolf and Jarl get that. This is achievable late game.
Yes,
to me.
This is a good support aura.
Which by then,
saga.
maybe with a new FAQ now that they're trying to focus more on the end game, this has a little bit more. But as I was reading this before that FAQ came out, I kind of looked at this one like, is this going to matter? Or are you going to suicide early in the game to try to get this one and then run around it and pass automatic morale, which...
You might need it because, again, when we were writing this up before, it was one of those scenarios where, okay, we're anticipating the release of the FAQ. Next thing you know, it gets released. You almost have to rethink, like we said yesterday, of your entire layout, your HQs, and how you're going to proceed ahead, with this new FAQ hitting the streets, as we call it. So I like this one. It's good. I think it's good mid-game because you're going to need it for the end game. Because at the end, it's going to be too late.
Yeah. But I see by the time you get him there.
It might be turn 4 or
right,
5.
you gotta rush.
It's gonna be crazy.
You gotta rush. Also, some of the stuff that we look at is kind of tilted a little bit because we play a ton of ITC. Not saying that we're tournament gamers all the time, but we've found that ITC has worked out well to balance out a lot of the things. We tried playing with the cards quite a bit, and they turned into frustrating.
Stomped,
like, man, I'm down by like 45, and I
Yeah.
can't do shit because I just keep drawing garbage cards. It's fun,
Especially when playing Jeremy.
I
think he cheats.
That's pull out the keg, get hammered, play 40K.
Yep.
It's fun. But to play a game where I can enjoy the logic process of it, the ITC standard kind of helps us out. But with that, we generally only play about 5 turns, 5 to 6.
We can't even get past 3 or 4 when we're starting to
we get there.
When we're getting in.
Well, that's because we have, when we play in the basement, we have extra phases called the argument phase. And then we have another phase where you're a jackass phase.
You want to take this outside phase?
Yeah, we've added quite a few phases. We also add mid-round smoke breaks, which generally add about 30 minutes to the game.
That's a good hour for you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I don't even smoke.
There's a lot of that going on. Next up is Saga of the Hunter.
Yes, I like this one.
So the deed of legend for this one is successfully charge an enemy unit with your warlord. This is super easy to get.
Achievement unlocked.
Ta-da! That's like you put the video game in, and just by pressing start, it was like, achievement unlocked.
Oh, update.
Ta-da! It's the up, down, left, right, BA select of tabletop.
Yep,
It's charge
Secret
something.
to eternal life.
Yeah.
What about the IDKFA? Oh, come on now. If you're a gamer.
What?
I kill all fucking aliens.
Oh, that's...
Ha! I'm old. You're not.
So if he pulls off this successful charge, he can now charge after advancing.
Yes.
This one I like a lot.
You need it.
Right. So you have an army that is a bunch of slobbering maniacs, intelligent slobbering maniacs.
They just want to get into a bar fight.
These are guys that are bikers that can kick your ass, stomp on your face while playing chess.
Yep.
I think they're super smart. They're very intelligent. But they're maniacs and they want to punch all kinds of shit. This one, I think it has a long way to go with this one. There's a lot of stuff that
There's
can
a lot
pull
of potential
off with
with
this
this
one.
one.
There's a lot of potential with this one.
A lot of shenanigans.
It almost, I want to say orcish to this, the WoW kind of feel. Like, he just ran and met that guy. We're all following him. Let's go. I like it. It's a lead from the front. It's very attainable, and it gives you a bonus.
I like it.
Next up is Saga of the Bear. The deed or legend for this is successfully pass a saving throw for your warlord. Again, easily attainable. Easily attainable. Arjak Rockfist has this, who we lovingly refer to around here as Thor.
Hammer?
Yeah, we can tell you're hammered. It's pretty obvious.
So if you pass this save, basically what you get is feel no pain on a 6+. And who doesn't like feel no pain?
I feel no pain. Probably. No one. I felt pain.
No one's gonna bitch about having feel no pain. They
felt
love
no
it.
pain yesterday.
It's great. Feel no pain is very, very. It's a great one for this.
And Arjak is a badass model.
He is. Just in case you didn't hear.
Hammer?
Yeah, we can tell you're hammered. It's pretty obvious.
And he fits in well with us here at the show. He's probably my favorite character.
I'm writing it down. Hold on, that's our shirt. Look.
Just pumping out. Just pumping him out. So yeah, that wraps up the sagas.
I can't write fast enough.
The hits just keep on coming.
Oh man, making money with that.
My mouth is kind of like a dog taking a piss in the woods. Like eventually it's gonna hit a tree. Like something eventually comes out of my mouth that's like attainable, worthy of recording.
I got no words. All right. Anyway, continue. Just
Moving on, we're going to talk about the relics. So the
These are
first
cool.
one,
like
first one up is the Kraken Bone Sword. It replaces the Frost Sword.
It wasn't the chapter approved, so it's cool.
So yeah,
no change.
Not really a whole lot of change. Melee +1 strength, AP -4, damage 1, reroll failed wounds. This is really good AP combined with +1 strength. I love this option.
It's good for a beginner class patrol.
It's
small.
not the American Express card, but it's going to get its points.
Yeah,
I think it's a valid option.
There's other ones out there, but in case you needed it, it's there.
Yeah, I think it's a good one to take.
Yep.
Next up is Armor of Russ. 4+ invul save.
Yep.
Word. I'll take that one every day. Enemy within 1 inch.
Yeah.
Fights last. Except if you have, I always fight first, and then there's a Rolodex, and you've got to eat 3 boxes of cereal, and then you got to jump up and down. And
this may help. Unfortunately.
How would you model that?
What, the jumping up and down or the Armor of Rust?
No, I mean the Kraken Bone Sword or the Armor of Rust. Whenever I look at relics, I'm always thinking, what are people going to think when they're going to actually try to, represent this on a model?
When I think Armor of Rust, I think a big,
almost
giant
cataphract armor.
I think a big pelt.
You
put a
There's
coat
so
on.
many third-party models for the Space Wolves as it is. It makes me wonder if people would pick that kind of stuff up for this.
I don't know. I think it brings out options.
It's a great option to.
Yeah.
At this point, punch in model, hobby up. It's kind of one of those weird things. Relics. It's almost
Your
a
model
caveat.
your model should look cool.
You almost need to have an identifying token of some sort on the model or the warlord, to represent the relic that it has. It would help. Because I don't know if you're going to be able to model or hobby it on.
Right, and this is unintended. I wasn't even thinking about this. But KW Designs, I've been working with him over the past week or so doing different squad markers that snap onto your bases. They're not released yet. They're still kind of in the prototype phase.
Right.
I wanted them because of Necrons. So field a bunch of warriors, and they all look the same. It's hard to tell what squad that they're in.
I think our listeners should check out his website.
Yeah. They're coming soon.
That would be very useful in Kill Team, especially if you're playing Tyranids.
Yeah,
that's one of the hardest things to figure out is what's got what when you've got 6 Gene Stealers and they all look the same.
Right. So the nice part about the design is that they slide in and they're angled to fit the bevel of the base. So you slide them in and then you can move them around the table. And then when you don't want to have them marked that color anymore, you slide it off. So it's not a permanent marking.
Yeah,
you could use some of them for different markers throughout the game, whether it has that effect or doesn't have the effect. I think it's a really cool way to mark your squads. And he does stuff super, super cheap.
Right.
Cool.
Moving on, we've got Black Death. Replaces the Frost Axe. Also requires the model to play heavy metal music at all times and can't really speak English other than like, boys, you never understand what he's saying.
You know, after watching a Slayer video and seeing those people there, I don't think as I've seen those guys rocking out, it reminds me of Spacewolf.
Like Swedish or
Finnish,
Swedish
death metal,
Norwegian death metal.
Yep, it's
with
just
runes everywhere.
There's nothing. It's just a scream, and if someone can translate that stuff for me, that would be super cool.
Cookie Monster.
But
Cookie Monster.
I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies. I love unicorns, rainbows.
So
what does the Black Death do?
Melee +2 strength, -2 AP, D1, D3 additional attacks when you fight with this one.
It's neat.
And again, it gives you the death metal in your head. Helm of Durfast.
I can see
Durfast. Helm of Durfast. Reroll failed hit rolls in ranged attacks. Also, enemy units never gain saving throws in cover. So they never gain.
This will help in case you're shooting, but yeah, you know, hey.
Spear and magic helm.
Yeah.
Play the hammer. Play the hammer.
The audio you needed for that. Spear and magic helm.
I hate you guys.
Also, moving on.
That
was really good. The Wolfenstone is another one. So you can take one additional attack.
You know, when you say that, I still think Thanos.
Wolfenstone?
Yeah.
The
Wolfenstone.
So infantry, bikers, cavalry, within 3 inches of the bear when they get an additional attack when they make attacks in the fight phase. This doesn't, though, affect the unit that it's named after. Wolfen.
It's almost a guarantee that you're going to see this one.
And it doesn't stack with Curse of the Wolfen. So
I think if you're going to pay the extra CPs, if that is there, you know, you're going to see.
But if you have that with your warlord who now can advance and charge and get an extra attack, and they get it early in the game, and the rest of them you keep them in a blob and they run all forward, that could potentially be pretty cool. I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but it's a really good work to get your foot slogging guys there relatively quickly.
Again, this will all come down to the movement phase or even the deployment phase for it. So once you get there, it all depends on how you're going to use this stone. Mm-hmm. Could be game over by turn 2.
Yeah.
You never know.
Last up on this one is the Frost Fury. This is it's a Stormbolter that replaces the regular Stormbolter. 24. Assault 4, Strength 4, -1 AP, D2. And on top of that, if you fail a wound,
right,
but you don't die on a 4+, they take a mortar wound
to the face.
Right. This loses rapid fire, but really, who gives a shit? It chucks out just as much firepower, causes mortal wounds. It's the Duke Nukem weapon for the Space Marines.
IDKFA.
Right.
Come on, it's almost like a mini autocannon, because the autocannon has damage too. And who listening at home, those 15 people watching us right now, how many people have taken an autocannon and like damage 2? Seriously. God.
Right.
And it hurts. The damage 2 hurts, no matter what model you're at. If you have Primaris, dead. HQ, dead. Well, wounded. But you know what? You're getting hit by a couple of them, so it's going to be interesting, depending on what you're facing.
Yeah, like George, do you have a favorite out of those?
You mean out of all of the relics here?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Kraken Bone Sword is. I think that would, as far as modeling options, I think Kraken Bone Sword and Armor of Rust would be really nice. I mean, Frost Fury is okay, but I mean, we're just talking about a Stormbolter there, so you just throw on a little wolf tail on the bottom of it, and you say, "Oh, it's Frost Fury."
That ain't no damn
Wolfenstone. You know, what's funny is that whenever I've had to like model like certain like small effects on a on like a leader or something, I play Chaos Dwarves, and they've got something similar where it's like an amulet or something like that. So you're always looking for that little perfect little doodad where like they're just kind of holding it like in their hands right in front of you. Those are the challenges to do it, because usually, when I'm playing and somebody has something like this, whether it's Space Wolves or otherwise, it's always, oh yeah, and he's got this. Oh yeah, and he's got this. And it's like, okay, fine, your models are great. I can't tell what the hell it is anyways, but at least, take the time to go and put something on there. But I think probably Kraken Bone Sword and Armor of Rust.
I still think that one little accessory, multicoloring it. Maybe if you had like a disc that will go around the model base and have it equally spaced with notches in it, you can probably color code it, the outside.
Well, that's what this does.
You know what I'm saying? And boom.
Yeah, I'm interested in those for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
And
what
then
these
have
print
a
out.
color code on your army list. You know,
Right.
people.
Yeah, that's what
Not your phone.
Yeah, I will. I will talk to KW Designs. Have them give me a prototype picture. We can.
I've
throw up
seen
on the
guys
website or on the
using
Facebook.
those little cards or little printout cards right now for whatever everybody has. But it's very nice to see something on the model, so at least it's a reminder of what's on there. And again, in Kill, I mean, it doesn't matter for this, but like for Kill Team, it's almost imperative that you have something modeled on the model so that you know what's going on.
Oh God, that's just gonna be token friendly. No, it's not. Kill Team's gonna be too much.
No, it's
gonna be crazy.
I like them.
I
I
have
think
no regrets.
they'll work. Going back to the Wolfenstone, I think that's one of the times that you have to go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that, and you got to just remember, I'm a dude.
There's
I go
nothing
into
wrong
them
with that.
enough.
I
I get
love the
super
scenery
glue.
sometimes.
Cheapest-
I
sometimes I
love
don't.
Hobby Lobby.
Cheapest super glue on the planet that works really, really well, except for Phil, who can't seem to get super glue to work for him at all ever. Comes from Hobby Lobby. It's not even this is I mean this. I've used it for ever. I got them. HSI is the actual brand of the glue. They're a super glue company that their whole purpose in life is to give stores kind of their own brand to have. You can brand them up, you can get them, or you can just buy it just as BSI. But the super glue is amazing. It's the cheapest out there that works. It's $4.99 for I think it's a 2-ounce bottle. It's huge for the amount that you get. Where if you do the math with Loctite, you're paying like $56 for the same amount of super glue. Because when you buy that, it's 0.012765. Yeah, one of those lasts me quite a bit.
I just was recently kind of browsing some of these third-party resin companies. I think it is Spellcrow who has like some of these little small stones. They almost look like Eldar stones, but I'm sure you could like work something up with a little bit of green stuff to model a Wolfenstone.
Yeah, I think so. And Spellcrow has done some really cool stuff over the last while.
Nice.
So moving on, because we need to.
Have to.
So let's get into some psi powers. The Tempastus. The Tempasta.
I felt like pasta.
You
I
put
am
the
Italian.
Tempasta in some boiling water. You know. Phil adds some spaghetti.
Yeah.
And a little bit of
Known a
sauce
secret
to that.
recipe right there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. There's one. You can tell on the camera which one of us eats a lot of pasta, which one of us does not. Just saying. Maybe the guy in the white wearing the tie all the time.
Save the toss.
Much more of a meat and potatoes
You
kind
eat
of
the
guy.
pasta.
More of a meat and potatoes kind of guy. Kind of like to have a little bit
dieting.
of, into it, A
I'm
little bit of-
dieting. Anyways,
first 3 letters of diet. Or
I do make a
die.
mean pasta. I'm telling you.
You do. So we'll wrap through these pretty quick. So you got Living Lightning, warp
Yep.
charge is 6, 18 inches closest model, suffers D3 mortals. If it's destroyed, it keeps moving. So you blow one up, 18 inches, and get to blow another one up. 18 inches, get to blow another one up.
Just like an old chain lightning.
If you want to add a little seasoning to that, add to the spice, you can throw the Living Storm Stratagem, which we'll get into later. You can just add that to season to taste.
Oh God, yeah.
I love
It's sick.
that
There's some good
power.
combos in here.
It reminds me of this. The old chain lightning from Space Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have those models.
That is a much better representation of what I was thinking. I was thinking 2nd edition Splatter Cannon, where it just keeps going and smacking and just crushing people.
Yeah. I'll get a beer while you finish rolling.
Yeah, I'll be back. Back then, man, 2,000 points took you a week and a half. You had to
Pack
take
a
pictures. You had to
sandwich.
take pictures of where stuff was.
Pack a sandwich.
Tempest Wrath, warp charge is 6. Visible enemy unit within 24 of the Psyker. Your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit rolls for that unit until the next Psi phase.
Right.
Dark Angels players, this is a version. It's the same damn thing.
You see a lot of these,
but it's
sometimes remade.
I like it. I generally bitch about it's the same thing. This is a good one to have. It makes sense. That the giant storm of snow and ice and other flying, almost like when you watch Dragon Ball Z, right? And they're starting to get real pissed, like Goku's like, I'm about to fuck you up. And like pebbles start floating off the ground and stuff, and he's got that look to him, and then his hair turns. I wish I had that. Like
That's
the
every
Guy
time we roll
Fieri
dice
stuff.
together.
Like every time I got pissed, my hair just turned into Guy Fieri. Like be great. It makes sense for them. I like that I like when they throw in narrative rules that
no one plays narrative, dude.
That fit. Even if everybody has them, if they give me a reason why it's there that works with the background story, I like it.
Right.
Murderous hurricane.
Murderous.
Pretty much all hurricanes are murderous. I don't know if you've been through one. There isn't really a hurricane. There's when you live in Florida, which I did for a couple of years, when a hurricane comes, it's get out, right? Or buy all the liquor you can, bunker down,
hurricane
and
time.
get hammered. So that you're either drunk when you die or you don't remember all the bad shit that happened when your house fell around.
Have you ever seen a flash flood in Pennsylvania?
Not where we live, but yes.
It's like a murder.
Actually, no, I take that back. Just down the street, the fire department was underwater a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We had a boat in the middle of the highway. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yep.
So anyways, this murderous hurricane, very easy to get off. Warp charge 5. Select a visible enemy with an 18. Roll 1 die for each model in that unit. On 6, they suffer a mortal wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Could be super effective. Could be absolute shit.
Good
Play enough of Overwatch.
It's a good thing that you can pick your psychic powers.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not a game changer. It could be really powerful, or you could get this off all the time and do absolutely nothing.
I would say it's almost like a modified smite.
Yeah, or destructor.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more of a destructor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, Fury of the Spirits, Warp Charge 7. Rune Priest gets freaky with it, and Jerry. He gets to get freaky with Jerry.
Is that what the name is? Because
that's how I've
Frecky and Gary. Hey man, that's my.
Is that your cousin?
I've been holding on to that for the whole time.
Frecky
Like
and
I was
Gary.
waiting to say freaky and just to get to George. I knew he would. I knew he'd jump up there with it. It's strength 5, -3 AP, 1D. But this is 6 bonus attacks.
This is kind of neat.
This is cool. And you get to get freaky with it.
No.
And there's your modeling opportunities once again.
Yes.
Have a couple of wolves ready for it.
Yeah.
I like it. Spiritual ones. You can use that new
The
new paint.
Ghost
yeah,
wolves.
the ghost wolves.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Stormcaller, warp charge 8 until the next psychic phase. Any space wolf within 6 gains the benefit of cover. So that's cover in the open made further awesome by Cloaked by the Storm.
Would this stack with the new FAQ that came out?
No. Well,
Would it? Okay, so
the
Space Wolf
FAQ
players
says
going
it. The
second?
FAQ, the stratagem says it does not stack. So I would say no. It would be a waste. Because it specifically says doesn't stack with anything. Because if that was the case, it would be cool.
That'd be cool,
But
though.
if you let this happen, you then I'll talk about
Because that's first, that's pre-game, and now you're in the second game.
Right, but no, because that
trying to
takes
bend the
effect.
rule.
I
Trying
know
to
you're
bend
trying
the
to break it, but that takes effect during.
You got to cheat to win.
Next up, Jaws of the World Wolf, which
Stuff that caused riots in the past. Fifth
this
edition.
has been. This has changed the way I look at what is a line.
And what is a tape measure?
What is a tape measure?
Yes.
What is a? It's the Bill Clinton.
You know what?
What
if
do you mean
social-
by the word what? What do you mean by the word line? Like it's
if
crazy.
If social media was around when this came out in 5th edition, like I said, dude, we would have riots.
it would have
There'd be-
broken the internet.
It'd be great. It'd be great. Yeah.
I mean, but the internet was around. Don't make us sound like
No,
you played
it
back
wasn't
on a
around
stick.
like social media was around. I'm just saying, if social media was like this, people would lose their shit. Poor Games Workshop would have taken their account off again.
Back in the day, Phil had to go uphill both ways to get his email.
Oh, and I will.
Bing bong.
I'd start
4
the
minutes
internet.
later.
Oh, yeah.
Frickin' power has been around for so long, and it has always been.
It has been at the top of the mountain with the kings and queens and been in the gutter.
Now, here's the thing with this one.
What?
Select the enemy unit. Within 18 inches of the psyker, other than a vehicle, roll 2d6 and subtract the target's movement characteristic. The target suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to that result.
Still not bad.
Yeah.
That's cool until you realize that
It's situational, but it's cool. When it hits you, it's going to be like, stay down.
everything seems to be so slow that I don't.
Sometimes the second phase is it will take a long time.
You need I mean, unless what you're targeting is a Santa Cruz banana slug.
It comes out the Terminators. It comes.
It's not. It's not going. It's going to be hard to pull off.
Cataphractii armor. Is it the cataphractii armor?
Yes, it's very. It's effective against slow units. Not going to help you at all.
Nurgle might
with things that
be
are
an
very
issue.
fast. And nothing that has decent movement. It's gonna be. I don't think it's going to be as effective with that.
Not against that Xeno scum. The Eldar.
Won't be hitting any flyers with this.
Yeah, because you're gonna roll. I mean, it could get crazy. It's dice.
Hey, if flamers can hit a damn flyer, I'm sure the Jaws could possibly.
Yeah, I see this being very. I see this being. I guess to clarify,
it's very situational.
Being consistently effective against slower units, and could be extremely effective against slower units. Against faster ones, it's going to be marginally. The inch you add makes it exponentially less powerful.
Interesting.
So it's after the slow stuff. Jaws of the World Wolf.
An
picks on the
oldie
slow
but
stuff.
a goodie.
So let's talk about stratagems really quick, and when we go through the stratagems, and we're gonna take a break after we get through the stratagems, then we're gonna switch gears, and Phil is gonna take over with the war gear, and
hang on to your butts,
and then we'll get back into it with characters, things like that. So stratagems. These are the ones that were straight up jacked from other Space Marine codexes. Armor of Contempt, Orbital Bombardment, Linebreaker, Kill Shot, Hellfire, Flak, Honor of the Chapter, Death and Duty, Data Link, Wisdom of the Ancients. So we're not going to really talk about those because
they're just rehearsed.
They're not really there, right? So we want to talk about the ones that are actually about the Space Wolves themselves and not something that's covered in multiple other codexes.
Right.
Start out with a 3 CP Cloaked by the Storm. In the Psychic phase, when a Rune Priest manifests a power, you get some -1 penalty all range attacks against it. So, like I said, you can kind of -1. There's some stacking that you can do. Also, units within 6 until the end of the phase. The one I think you're going to see the most is this Overwhelming Impetuosity, which is, again, another word I almost had to look up, but thanks for making me smarter, G-Dub. It's used in the fight phase, and basically what this does is that Blood Claws, if they're fighting something with a higher power rating than them, which is basically everything in the game, they get to reroll all failed hits when they charge.
Now this is, I'm assuming, at the end of how, when you're making your list with the Blood Claws, what your final power rating is, and then you'll have to compare. So this may or may not help against like lower units, but more of the higher ends.
But they're so cheap in power on this that there's a ton of stuff, and you can kind of throw them into some suicide charges. I think, again, it's good, it's cheap, it's not as strong as +1 to wound would have been, but again, it fits with the I want to hit you a lot. I want to punch you and then punch you more, and then when I can't punch you anymore, I'm gonna punch you
again. Yep. No, I agree.
True Grit.
Love this one.
This one, you turn into the Wild West. I can shoot 2 rifles.
It's like Red Dead.
Yeah, shooting phase. So bolters, bolt rifles, auto bolt rifles, bolt carbines. They fire as pistol 2.
I think it's cool.
Which is great. I think it's super effective with intercessors because they got extra attacks, sweet AP.
This would have been cool for Deathwatch.
Yeah, and you're gonna be
nice
in
to
combat.
see this come back again.
You're gonna be in combat a lot.
Oh yeah.
So by
Makes
giving
sense.
them pistol, now you have a quote unquote shooting phase because you can shoot the weapons that you have, but you can't shoot any pistols during that if you have those. So you can't, use True Grit, fire pistols, and fire the stuff that counts as pistols. You just count the stuff.
Yeah. So as you get later in the unit designation, there are times where certain models will want to replace your your offensive weapon, the bolter, or a pistol, depending on how you want to outfit them. So you want to keep this one in mind. So don't always take, the assault, rifle or the bolt gun away. You might want to keep that and trade in the bolt pistol for something else so you can use this True Grit. Because if not, you're not going to use the benefit of this.
It's only 1 CP.
And it's only 1 CP. This may be a factor with the new we're not going to farm anymore. Is that what we're terraforming?
Terraforming? Yeah, no more farming. No farms, no beer.
Yeah, no. Buy local.
Next up is Cunning of the Werewolf. I'm Cunning of the Werewolf. You pick one. They go on the hunt during the deployment phase. You pick an infantry unit. You can do this for more than one, as this is a deployment part. So you can use.
You think?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's deployment. It's pregame. So and it doesn't say one time. It doesn't say. So you could.
It'd be cool.
You could put this on multiples.
Again, the farm is gone, so I don't know if this is going to benefit or not.
It's 1 CP.
Okay. Your average is 8 to 9.
Yeah. But at the end of your movement phase, you can set them up 6 inches from the side of a board, but no more than 9 inches away from the enemy unit.
Does the FAC take over that?
This is not anywhere on the board. You have to set them up within 6 inches of the side of a board. So this is different wording. So this doesn't get thrown in with that.
Okay.
What this does is that for a single command point, you get outflank back on turns 2 and 3, which I think is pretty fucking cool.
Good for scouts.
Like
the old school scouts.
Is 1 point for outflank, which doesn't exist anymore. Old school. I like it. I think talking to some of the guys around, especially Rob, with the potentials that has. It's very, very cool. It says any. So 6 with any, 9 inches away. This kind of lets you skirt around some of the new stuff, even from the FAQ. Tokens of Fenris. This is the same 1 CP, 3 CP extra relics that everybody else gets. I just bring it up because it's got a cooler name than some of the other ones. The Tokens of Fenris.
Worth it because with all of them.
Yeah. I think when you do this, speaking of punch in, hobby up, I'm a fan, not of cosplay. Like, I don't... Look, if you make a Space Marine suit and walk around, that's awesome. I'm not going to lie. I've dressed up Halloween time as Batman.
I've seen the
My
hot
son has been
Russian girl who was redhead. Remember that one?
I've walked around the neighborhood as Batman a couple of times. Nobody said anything. I had a good time with it. And this is another Florida story. I walked into a Circle K in Florida dressed as Batman driving a black Camaro. No one said shit. And I bought a pack of cigarettes. And as I was leaving, I was like, "Thank you, citizen." And I left. Nobody said anything. It was just expected. Like, this is Florida. Crazy people live here. I'm going to try to pull that off this year. Just go to a random
You might get shot
here and see what happens.
You might get shot.
See if Batman actually goes to jail. But when I was getting to that is that with Tokens of Fenris, I think this is a good time to come up with those. They don't really matter, but they're cool gaming pieces of,
just taking up the board, man.
No, just
taking
to have
up the
with
board.
you, right? Like, I have these Tokens of Fenris. Maybe it's coins or it's something from one of the 3D print, the guys that print out bolters and like the props kind of stuff. I think this is one of those props that I would find very entertaining. If someone, I have these Tokens of Fenris that lets me do this. I just see that. And I see, and I'm not judging mentalities. Maybe I am. I don't mean to do this, but the Space Wolf player, you have that generalization of like an orc player. When you've played enough, you just go, this is the image of an orc player. My image of a Space Wolf player would do that kind of stuff. Maybe it's fucked up because Mech Space Wolf runs around wearing a wolf mask and drinking out of a horn. And
I knew that was coming out in this episode.
Maybe that's
He's posted that too.
Oh, multiple times. I'm super proud of him for being super proud of it. Maybe that's what's it. But so I'll just make a challenge to Mech Space Wolf. I'm expecting if I ever play you and you have Tokens of Fenris that you're at least gonna have the horn with you or the wolf mask for a little bit. Next up, Mentor's Guidance. So this is used in the shooting phase or the fighting phase. Choose a character that's within a Wolf Priest 6-inch. Reroll failed wound rolls for the character in that phase. This is good for when you have Thunderhammers fail on a wound because Thunderhammers are everywhere. And who wants to roll a 1 when you have to absolutely kill the motherfucker in front of you?
It happens a lot. I laugh at because you're never going to use this because you're going to be so out of command points using something else. You're going to need this, and now that the farm, is gone, you'll be like, oh,
the visual.
Go to my boy Jay. Anything but a 1,
Yep. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say anything but anything but a. Damn it.
Yeah, but do Space Wolves even have the ability to farm in the first place?
Come on, you're not gonna have Space
Everybody
Wolves by
can farm.
themselves. All right,
Everybody can farm.
Yeah, okay.
Who does fluffy lists?
Farming's dead.
Stay local.
But it's when I look at this one, you think of a Space Wolf's character as this mean mugging dude, and then he whiffs on a thunderhammer and looks over at the priest. And he's like, "Oh shit, man, I'm sorry about that. I look like an ass. I'm gonna fix
Once
this."
we get into the character in general, are we really gonna have a lot of wolf priests?
If you want to do this, and they're cool. Wolf priests are cool. They do some stuff.
That's cool.
Chooser of the Slain. This is very Celtic. Morrigan is the chooser of the Slain. If you know anything about the Celtic, there the Morrigan was the Valkyries of the Celtic people, but versus the Norse.
Like in the movie Thor.
Mm-hmm. Those were Valkyries. Those were from
a little bit further south.
Ragnarok.
Those were from Isengard. The choosers of the Slain, the Morrigan, they were on a small island. It's green, good for making beer and stuff. They were in the Celtic part of that. So you can use this immediately after they set up. It's visible within a rune priest, and that a unit that's within 6, right, can immediately shoot at that as if it were the shooting phase, but it's just -1 to hit. So, it's -1 BS. It's not -1 to hit. I take that back. It's -1 ballistic skill. Notice that it says a unit though. That's the cool part about this. So I don't know. Say you were playing Soup, Eddie Soup, and you have an Imperial Knight that's within 6 inches of the rune priest. Pretty much any unit that drops is going to get dick punched by that knight as soon as they land. It says a unit, so you could also park a whole squad, not just a single model. This could be super powerful. Longfangs are kind of nasty with this, and I think this is well worth 2 command points.
It's actually almost better than Auspex because all you need is line of sight.
Yeah.
Where I think Auspex was like 24 inch.
Right. This is line of sight, and then your guns can reach it.
Crazy.
2 command points could wipe something off the table. I really like that one. I think it's well worth it. This might be one of those ones that will get synergied in an FAQ later down the road or something like that. Like I can see the potentials of this one down the road becoming it's not the next Smash Captain. I don't want to compare it to that, but this one.
Even you can be a Smash Captain.
Right. But I'm seeing that this one could possibly have some stuff down the road where maybe. I'm just guessing.
Maybe.
Really. Laugh hammer. In the face of death. Basically, they turn into the Joker from Batman, meaning they go batshit insane. You can now reroll all your failed hit rolls in that phase. And again, it's another hit bonus. So you're sensing the pattern, right? Like we're getting a lot.
They're laughing while they're drinking and beating
and they
up.
go crazy. It's awesome.
And this only affects the infantry, bikers, and cavalry.
Correct. Cavalry, not cavalry. It does not affect the mountain.
Cavalry.
Overwhelming savagery. This you choose a unit of Thunderwolf cavalry. You almost got me saying it wrong now. You can reroll failed ones for this. It's pretty good because
cavalry.
With 2 attacks, you don't want to be wasting bad wound rolls, especially if you're rocking Thunderhammers, which you're probably going to because of the awesome +1s that you get normally.
A Sacred Thunderhammer is now the most common piece of equipment.
It's going to be great with them. And if you've got claws, it doesn't matter. This is definitely geared towards rocking Thunderhammers all over the place. Howl of the Great Pack. Your Wolf Lord kind of goes nuts. Throws out a big yell about everything and why he hates everybody, and that Bob from that pack over there owes him money, and the next time that they play poker, they're gonna knock some heads. And they get to auto pass morale tests.
This is like that Dawn of War rally squad.
And your opponent within 12 adds 1 to their leadership rolls.
Right.
So it's jacking everybody up. I got beers next round. Oh crap, they're gonna be drunk and they're gonna beat us up.
They're all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
They'll be all over us like a spider monkey. Seeking a saga. Sega. That does also play in my head as I've read through this a whole lot. I wish I had that sound bump. I should have put that one in here.
You want me to reboot my Mac?
Yeah. It's using the in the fight phase. A Space Wolf character within an inch of an enemy unit that with a greater power rating. Again, relating to power ratings in the codexes. We just had that FAQ where they're starting to take that back out. I can see this one in a little bit getting put back to points because nobody's really paying attention to the power rating of what they have. To me, it's an unnecessary thing for matched play, which is a majority of what we play.
It's the bad.
Reroll failed wound rolls made by that character.
Right.
Keen Senses. The stratagem lets you turn your long fangs into Dark Reapers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything that lets you turn something into Dark Reapers is awesome. They've got long range. They're heavy hitting units. And don't forget that Forge World makes some really cool long range, super hitty shit that you can apply to this. You know, with the reviews that I've heard, I haven't heard a whole lot about Forge World stuff that's out there. There's a lot of units that could benefit from these stratagem because you can give them. They can be Space Wolves. You can take those really crazy dreadnoughts and
right.
You know, you can take the Forge World stuff that could be really cool with this.
It's plausible. Alduin, it's all meta. It's all meta.
The Wolf's Eye. So shooting phase, long fangs again. They can reroll failed hits.
Right.
Or. That's the important word. Or failed wounds. The way I read that, you need to pick when you roll it. I'm going to roll for failed hits. Or I'm going to roll for failed wounds. Or it's just in the shooting phase. So you can use it at the point when you need to re-roll a failed hit or re-roll a failed wound. But it doesn't let you do both.
Is this almost like how pathogenic slime yesterday as we discussed it, you know, in our last episode where we had to call it before or after?
No.
When do you play it?
This one is...
It just says in your shooting phase.
Yeah, this is just in. So they get the bonus that they took away from you.
Bullshit.
And they can pick what they want to do with it, whether they want to re-roll a hit or re-roll a wound. They will probably... In the last FAQ, what we did see is that rules that were very close.
Right.
This one, I think, slipped through the cracks. This one will probably get something along the same lines.
I'm
you
sure
got to
it's
pick
gonna
in the
be
beginning,
in the next
and then pick which one you want, and then go with that.
Yep.
Lone Wolf. This one will be used all the time. This is what
I'm gonna say
people are going to
situational.
save. This is what they're going to save their command point for.
Situational.
In a game of situations, this situation is going to happen a lot. And you could, if you wanted to, take a lot of small units, prepare to spend your command points, farm them out with the cheap infantry that you want from Astra Militarum, and you can have a bunch of these 1 points. You get to choose your slain models, right? So you can almost guarantee yourself that you're going to keep the most badass guy in the unit. The Power Fist, Thunderhammer, whatever it is, you get to pick, right? So you're going to try to do as much as you can. Now, a Terminator Wolfguard, it's kitted out with 2 more wounds, re-rolls to hit, wound rolls for the rest of the game, and now, if, say they're not now they're a character. They can pile in 6. They can't be shot at now because they're a character. They've got the less wounds in that. This is epic story time kind of stuff.
It's cool. The only thing you have to do is pass your morale if you're in a squad, depending on what kind of squad you are. So the casualty rate will be there.
Again, small squads equals small losses equals I can't fail this. I can't fail this.
This is almost half Legion because half their units are almost 15 and running strong. So again, situational. You have to plan for it.
But you could take 5-mans. I mean, if you really wanted to have this, 5-man squads. It's easy to get down to one guy.
I'm sure someone's gonna play it.
But it is at the end of the phase, right? So they got to survive through it. I can see your situational kind of caveat with that you can't, as soon as you're down to 1, apply it, which would have been even cooler. But I think you're going to see that one come up.
Yeah, because this is at the end of any phase. So,
Talismanic Shield is another one for 1 CP. Psychic phase. So, and this is an opponent's psychic phase.
Right.
So yesterday when we were talking about you can't skip phases, this is one of those times where if your opponent doesn't have one, they're like, I skipped my psychic phase. I don't do that. No, I want to do this because, it's a bad example, I guess, of the skipping, because what this one lets you do is just deny a power as if they were a psyker. But
You can always do that sniper smite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say corn demons have something similar to this.
Yep.
Right.
Living Storm, we did talk about this one a little bit before. It's when they manifest living lightning, it's D6 instead of D3. So for a command point, you're doubling the damage, the potential damage. Regardless, you're doubling it either way. And the more that you have with those wounds, that's better chances for lightning to spread beyond what you have. And now you've got that chain lightning thing going on.
It's a good combo.
Yep.
Good combo.
Second to last, technically the last one in the book. This is the last one in the book. The Emperor's Executioners. They get extra hits against things they extremely hate. This is, versus Thousand Suns. They make a hit roll of 4+. They get an extra attack. This is very similar to Vengeance of Sanguinius, Blood Angels versus Black Legion.
Kind of like a Tesla.
I hate you so much that if I hit you well, I'm going to hit you again. And then the last one I want to talk about is one that I'm very disappointed that it's not here. The Lion and the Wolf.
Yep.
How
did you miss this?
How is this not in there?
Right.
Yeah.
This
very fluffy.
It was in your book behind you.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. I made sure to put the Dark Angels book back there just for that. This one should have been in there. There's so much story behind every time they meet. It's not just a slap fight. I mean, they go.
This is like the Primarch story.
They're not supposed to kill each other. There's supposed to be some rules to it, but they go at it.
Stay down, Johnny.
And there's a lot of pride for this. And now all of a sudden, Space Wolves don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed at what you said.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, we had this conversation off air, and I'm glad we included it in our story.
We did, because it gives you and I would. This is one of the few times that I'd be cool to house rule something. I'm generally not, but
you just gotta find a chaotic Dark Angel
now
player.
I'm like on George's side with let's just have a fun game. Like this is one that I would house roll into a fun game. This shouldn't have been taken away. This is a good story driven kind of deal. I think it's very, very cool if they would have done that.
But they're gonna give you that bonus for the Thousand Suns, and then they're not gonna do something like this. I mean,
the Thousand Sun thing was so long ago, and they can't even find them. They can't even find them. It's all situational. Bad storytelling.
It's all situational.
Fill the situation.
If you start taking off your shirt, we're fucking done.
A couple more years, man. I still got to hone it up.
So that wraps it up. We've been going pretty long.
Yeah, you've been going. You all right? You gonna make
it? Yeah. But I think it's time to take a break. I think it's time to kind of chill out for a hot minute. We'll take a break and
station identification.
We'll be back in just a little bit.
You only need two things to make your army look awesome: custom Stencils airbrush set and our Stencils. Now prepare to serve the Lords of Painting.
You're listening to the 40K Podcast. Make sure you don't miss anything that's going on here at the show by following us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the40K Podcast. Give us a like and a follow. While you're there, join us in the bar. The bar is our free and simple to join Facebook group that allows you to interact with the hosts and other listeners of the show every day of the week. How easy is it to join? Super simple, dude. Just click on the join group button and
must answer these questions 3.
Once a moderator gets you approved, you can join us at the bar anytime, day or night. The 40K Podcast Bar, where it never closes, it's always happy hour, but it's BYOB because we're not paying your bar tab, bitches. The 40K Podcast reminds you to drink and Facebook responsibly.
What's up, baby? We're back. welcome back from break.
And we are back. Thank you for listening.
Hopefully you liked Door Fighter if you were listening to it live.
Door Fighter.
I'm going to have to find that song now. It's a great song.
They got nothing on Band of Orcs, though.
No, dude, we're saving that for the next episode.
That might be my new Space Marine.
Oh, man.
That might be my new Space Marine chapter. The Door Fighters.
For the door.
You know what they do? They fight the Door Fighters.
They fight the good fight.
Their arch nemesis is the Emperor's pointy sticks. Big shout out to Turn Signals on a Land Raider coming back. Way to do it, brother. That's super awesome. I am very honored to have been in one of his strips way back in the day, and I'm super glad to see him. He's official. He's on the community site. Very, very glad to see him back. I missed reading all of those. There was a lot of times that I would go back and read through all of them. I wish that he would come out with something in print.
Hey, what's that can? It's a Carnifex.
Yeah, exactly. That's not enough.
I remember that.
I can't say anything. I can't. It was. Yeah, I can't say anything. That soda bottle's in my way. That soda bottle is a Carnifex. Oh shit.
I was gonna say this is indicative of the new Games Workshop. At least they're being cool with stuff like this. I remember when he got
Banhammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I would be very entertained, and I would purchase this almost immediately. Very similar to a Kickstarter Dave Taylor did a while ago with his book. A coffee table book of Turn Signals on a Land Raider.
I'd buy it.
Or better yet, it actually probably fits a little bit better instead of a coffee table book. One of those books that you put on the back of the back of the shitter, like so that you can just have something to read while you're in there trying to stave off, potty polio when you sit there until your legs are numb and you can't stand up and you need something to do. Or, you're not Facebooking anymore.
Special options, man.
I was going to say, if he's listening, hit me up. I could easily, work that out so you can do a hardback of that.
It would be.
And Dave Taylor, call me. I still want one of your books. I apologize.
Yeah, hit me up, man. I can do that for you.
So Turn Signals, man, that'd be great. All I want for Christmas is a Turn Signals on a Land Raider.
Well, we have the dice.
Coffee table book. I could probably convince my wife to let me put that in the living room for a while. When my nerd friends come over, not when her wine drinking.
But honey, my friends are over.
Yeah.
What is this? Turns TSOLIR?
It'll open your eyes. It'll be great.
I'm telling you, it's interesting. All right. So we're getting long in the tooth. Is that
well done?
Like that?
Well done.
I've been playing that for about 10 minutes now.
Well done.
Great segue.
So glad we had that extra break.
I can't
so you can come over that.
It's almost it's almost a full moon.
Almost.
Quarter crescent. Is that
quarter? I don't know.
I don't know. Anywho's, so we're back. So Spencer's gonna rest his voice real quick. I'm gonna go over real quickly some of the specialized warrior highlights. With that, as we talk about these type of war gear, we're going to go then on to the special characters and then the regular characters. So if we run a little long, hey, we never know. We might have part 2. We never know. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say. So with no further ado, the X of Mordecai. And I will butcher the shit out of names. And
Thank God we have George.
My
Mordecai.
Say that again.
Wait, someone?
Mordecai.
Oh, that's like Mufasa. Like that gave me chill.
I am Mufasa. It comes with 2 different options. Of course, doing the recap with this, when attacking with this weapon, you have to choose one of them. One hand or 2 hand. With that, it is melee. It is for the one-handed 2+ in the strength, -3 AP with a damage of D3. When you use 2 hands, always better to use 2 hands. It is 2 times the strength with a -3 AP with 3 damage, but is a -1 to hit.
Is it always better to use 2 hands? I mean, sometimes you got to use a stranger hand. That's a little bit better that way.
Sometimes you got to use that true grit.
True. Oh, you almost said true grip.
I wanted to say it, but
Dude, if you have 2 hands and a true grip, you're on the wrong damn show. I'm telling you that right now.
I have the G.I. Joe Kung Fu grit. Have you seen it? Anyway, can you say that Fenrisian Great Axe?
Mm-hmm.
I need to talk to my interpreter. George, what? Did I say that right?
You put a T in there.
I didn't spell it right. We don't have to tell anybody how shitty my spelling is.
Listen, there's 2 different ways to do it. The cleaving and the scythe. Of course, it's 4+ strength, D6 damage, -1 to hit when you use the cleave option. And using the scythe option is the strength of the user with 1 damage. And to do this, you actually roll 2 hits for this one, which is kind of cool.
To keep the puns rolling, I would leave it to I would leave it to Cleve on that.
Leave it to Cleve. Hold on. I didn't want to jog the mic.
I'm gonna try to make it a point to get one shitty pun in.
You've made two. Anyway, we keep going with these war gear highlights. The Frost Axe, you're going to hear that a lot. Of course, is 2+ strength. It's kind of like a power axe with the +1. So in comparison,
everything is frosty.
It's frost or cold or
stay frosty.
Stay frosty, friends.
All of these weapons are apparently brought to you by Dairy Queen. Or Wendy's, probably Wendy's. Wendy's sells Frosties.
Paint them all blue.
Here's
Sotek green, Sotek blue green is your friend for these.
So here's a fun thing to do when you're not sitting around listening to us and you're just driving around the car. Go to Wendy's and order a Frosty like you're a Viking, and then be excited about it. Like you're gonna go rape and pillage a building because you got a Frosty.
We need your level 2 stalker guy to wear the mask and the horn and go
through. Oh my God, we need
dude, Mac. You need to put. I need to see ice cream in your cone
right now.
In the horn.
Mac, I'm talking to you right now. I need you in that mask, and I need you to tell your cop friends. Hopefully, you have them because this might get you arrested. I need you to do that and order it in that gruff, like, I will take a Frosty, and then I will go take Mjolnir and beat the villagers. Like, make them nervous that they took a job at drive-thru. That is video gold, my friend.
It is,
and that will put Fredonia on the map as where the creepiest Space Wolf player lives. I'm just saying.
Anyway, the Frost Axe is a +2 strength, -2 AP with a damage output of 1. You have the front claws, which is actually Frost Claws. I love the autocorrect when I was typing this out. Again, +1 strength, -2 AP with 1 damage each time the bear fights. Makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. You can reroll failed wounds with this. So I kind of like this one. This is kind of neat. Similar to the Murder Claws and Lightning Claws if you put it all in the same. Next is more Frost. You have the sword. It is +1 strength, kind of similar to a power sword. It is a -3 with 1 damage. The Frost Fang, which is kind of neat. It is +1 strength, -4 AP with 2 damage output, which I kind of like this. You're going to see as we go through Wolf Claws, which is +1 strength. It's kind of similar with Lightning Claws with the stats. The Wolf Claws itself is, +1 strength, -2 with 1. It can reroll failed wounds. Model with these with 2 claws, can actually get 1 attack. We go to Runic, which is kind of neat. You have to have Runic with anything Space Wolf. This goes for the priest itself, where the Rune Axe, you have the staff, or stave, and sword. Is it stave? Work. Is it stave? I always say staff. It's like a bow staff.
A stav? Like you have to put a stav. It's a healing stav.
Anyway. I never said English was my primary. The Runic Axe is +1 strength, -2 AP with a D3 damage. The stave is the +2 strength, -1 D3, and the Runic Sword is the strength is user -3 with D3 damage. All are good options with that. And then you have the Tempest Hammer, which is the big ass hammer. It is the same stat as a Heavy Thunder Hammer by the Death Watch, which is 2 times the strength, -3 for 3. And with that, it all depends on when you roll a 6 to damage. If you roll a 6, that actually suffers a mortal wound. So it's pretty neat.
Mortal wound.
Mortal Kombat.
Get over here.
So those are some of the highlights that we wanted to break out. If I missed anything, put it on the chat and we'll say something on it. Then, wait, Captain Regular just got tased. Someone just got tased on the chat. So
just done. Oh, just don't get tased. I read that as purely bad English of just done got tased.
Yeah, that's what I read. But English is not my
like, damn, Captain Regular, pull over when they told you to stop running. Just the cops will get you.
Anyway, moving on to special characters. We have Bear, the fell-handed.
Bear.
Bjorn.
Every J is a Y. Just pronounce it like that.
Oh, so what you're telling me it's Bjorn?
Bjorn.
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 Bjorn. Born. That sounds like a noise, not a name. Born.
Like, you know, it's funny. I'll just
Ricochet Rabbit.
Here's a quick fluff note. Bjorn Fellhand. Well, he's not called Fellhand in the book, but if you read,
it's called Bear.
Wolfsbane. He features heavily in Wolfsbane.
Oh, he's back in the day a badass. He's been around.
I mean, he's a dreadnought. And back in the book, back in 30K, in Wolfsbane, he's not quite the dreadnought just yet.
And I'm not trying to ruin the story. If you haven't, get it. But George, you've recently read it. I do have a question about this because it was a long time ago. He's pretty not cool with dreadnoughts. Like, he doesn't like them in the book.
You mean? Oh yeah, well of course, because they don't want to go into a dreadnought. They don't want to be interred in a dreadnought.
Yeah, it struck me when I heard that as very chaos. I don't think that the guys in Chaos Dreadnoughts and Hellbrutes and stuff, I don't think they know. I don't think they're sucking down Mai Tais on their time off. I don't think they enjoy it. Same with Space Wolves, and as you get into when we get into the dread, I mean,
only in death
murder fangs,
duty end.
They are not happy. It seems like Ultramarines are
I'm dead.
Very until death do I serve, and then even in death, fuck it, put me in that robot, I'll kill him again. Where Space Wolves are pissed they're dead and can't do it, like they can't strangle the life out of them. They can't feel the throat get crushed.
That's one thing that I think that actually in pretty much all of the stories when it comes to dreadnoughts, it's interesting to see how they characterize the pilot, for lack of a better term, the pilot in the dreadnought. It's interesting to see how they sleep for a very long time and then they're only awakened when they're needed. It's very it's almost synonymous with the Wraith Lords and the Wraith Guard.
Right.
But it's very interesting to see how they portray that, because you're right. In fact, even in the best of cases, they still don't want to be inside the dreadnought, and God forbid their chaos, they lose their friggin' minds.
Yeah, they already have. So anyway, Bjorn. Did I say that right? He is 180 points. He gets the Ancient Tactician, which you automatically get a +1 command point. It's really cool. He has changed his stats and his rules in every edition almost. Cool model. Needs an upgrade in the model. He also is the last of the company of Rusts. You can re-roll 2 hit rolls of 1 for any friendly Space Wolves that are within 6 inches of him. But again, Spencer, like I said before, when do you have a friendly Space Wolf in battle?
Never.
You shouldn't have a friendly Space Wolf. They should be pissed.
No, they just say your. They should stop saying friendly and say your Space Wolf. Yeah,
right, because they're not friendly.
Yeah.
Again, he has legendary tenacity. Thank you very much. Again, English
words are hard.
Ta-da.
Oh, George, that's another shirt. If you could just come up with that one. Words are hard.
There we go.
Words are hard. Let me write that down.
You can put my face on that one. I fuck up words quite a bit.
Wounds.
Mark that.
Marked. And again, he is a character dreadnought, 8 wounds, so he can hide.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it is cool to hide him in the mix of things. He is not able to be picked out.
Right, he can run up the table, hit you at full strength with 5 attacks from True Claw at +5 strength, bringing him to 12. Right, hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s almost always. -4 AP, crazy damage. He's gonna rip the face off of whatever he gets into. You got to get him there. Having him be able to hide helps him get there, but it's not. This isn't a Staples easy button, right? You are going to have to be a little tactical about it to get him where you want to. But once you get him there, he's wrecking house.
Right. The next one is everybody's favorite, Arjak Rockfist. Did I pronounce that right?
Kojak.
Hammer?
Yeah, we can tell you're hammered. It's pretty obvious.
Again, that's everybody's favorite Asgardian, and that is Thor. With that, it's a great model. I like it. It's pretty neat. He is the champion of the King's Guard. He rerolls failed to hit when targeting a character. So he is a hunter-killer unit, and I like him. So other than that, he's the Thane of the High King. You can reroll wounds of 1 for any friendly Space Wolf unit that is within 6 inches. The Anvil Shield, he gets a 3+ invulnerable save. With that, in addition to, it reduces all damage by 1 to a minimum of 1.
The thing I like, though, is he can teleport into battle, which is pretty good because he's damn slow. This guy's going to take 16 minutes in the morning to tie his Velcro shoes. He's not fast. But if you can get him where he needs to go, he's awesome. If you're playing Terminators, this is an American Express card. Don't leave home without him. He's a reroll bubble, +1 attack bubble, faux hammer, Mjolnir, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It does clip, D3.
Hammer?
Yeah, we can tell you're hammered. It's pretty obvious.
D3 against big baddies, characters, monsters. You can use in melee. You just chuck it. You can just throw it at anything 12 inches away. Hit that in the face. He's a good take. He's a great take.
He's almost a must for the points. 145 points ain't bad.
Also, we've been talking about like model characteristic look and how he looks the part. If you're watching us live, you're watching the video, you can see now we've got him up. Eldanesh is doing a very good job tonight of hiding his face with some amazing
witness protection.
You gotta see what they look like.
He fits. Right, and as much as I don't want to always go to the fluffy side, I pretend to want to build these armies, and I will sit there and I'll build the lists and I'll stare at the models and I'll paint some of them up and I'll think about it for a long time. He's a model in this army that makes me want to play. He's the one that grabs me. If you go back in time. I'll date myself. Second ed orcs, Gazi. For some reason, I was whatever it was about that model, I loved it, and I still have it today.
Wasn't a bad model at all.
It's a horrible model, and I painted it like
your model is pretty bad.
Worse. I used every paint I could find.
It was good at its time.
Craft. It was great. He looked awesome. He fit the cover of the Codex at the point, right? And that's what got me into playing orcs. And I hung on to orcs for years and years and years and years. Decades. I just recently, in the last, 3 months, sold all of my orcs, which to date is my third army I've ever sold in my life.
I sell those like stock.
I sold it to Joe, so it's okay. Because I get to see them, I get to visit them. I have like custody rights to them. Right? I get visitation with them. But it's weird because my visitation is to beat them in the face.
Yes.
Not to hang out with them and take them on the rides.
Still not talking to
you. That's what got me. Now, long story short, this model is what makes me want to play Space Wolves. I'm not a Space Wolf player. I enjoy stuff. If you don't know from the past, I play Eldar and I play Necrons. I'm Xenos, and I have Dark Angels that I play. I haven't played. I've just owned them for a very long time, and I have a Deathwatch army that
I traded you.
But weird story about that. Real quick, I painted 30% of that army 15 years ago. So I'm very proud to own that. I can see what my paint style was back in the day compared to now. It's not that much better, but it takes me down memory lane. I can actually remember where I was living, and what we were doing when I was painting those. In fact, we started our local club when I was painting those models. That's how long ago. So there's a lot of that. But Thor.
Hammer?
Yeah, we can tell you're hammered. It's pretty obvious.
I think you're going to make me spend my kids' Christmas money, and they're going to be
it's
very
already
sad.
spent. I've already spent mine.
But again, legendary.
Yeah, he's cool.
My son has called them legendary, so it might be okay if I. Oh, you know what I could do? I just thought about this. If you're watching this is a cool technique you can use. My son now wants Space Wolves. That's how I'm gonna push this. My son wants Space Wolves, honey. We're gonna have to spend $14.3 million on Space Wolves so that I can paint them, I can play with them, I can get them. You don't want our son using brand new models. You want them, accustomed to what we're playing. We'll get him those for Christmas, and then we'll be okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Moving
I'm
on.
an asshole. That's a really bad idea, but if you can pull it off.
Pull it off, I'm telling you. Again, the one I like, Canis.
Canis the what?
The anus.
Canis the anus.
125 points, rerolls failed charge rolls. Born of wolves, looks like shit. Okay, additional teeth and claw
Oh,
text.
wait. We got to look at this guy. There we go.
Derp. Pretty princess.
Derp to derp.
If you have a hamster and you have a spare,
I feel like he's at a show again, not knocking the guy who did it.
I'm knocking
one additional
him.
teeth and claw attack for Thunder Wolves, Fenrisian Wolves, or Cyberwolves within 6 inches of him. He is a champion of the Death Wolves. Rerolls wound rolls of 1. Friendly Space Wolves within 6 inches of him, and I really have nothing to say other than what it says, derp. Okay? Now,
Derp.
Spencer, did you have anything to say with the Canis?
So if you're going to take him, look, if your army style is to take a fuck ton of wolves, take them. If you don't have just herds of wolves everywhere, take a Wolfguard Battle Leader on a Thunderwolf. Name him George. Name him Paco. Whatever you want to name him. Give him a cool name. It's going to be it's a better. It's a better points value.
Right.
And you can make a really good looking model.
I'm sure you can make your own.
I don't know if they're available anymore. Mr. Justin, who is now with Secret Weapon.
Yeah, I don't know.
He made great.
I mentioned that earlier.
Thunderwolves models.
Absolutely.
Fantastic models that you could.
GW's been
really
on point
do a
with
good
the
Canis
new
with.
one, so you could probably get.
You could
can make
do,
a custom.
but I agree with George. The murder hamster. Is not it's not really getting there. I'm not afraid. That looks like it should drive a Kia. You remember the old the Kia?
Yeah, the Kia Scorpio
commercial with the hamsters where they were dancing.
Yeah, the breakdown. Yep. Let's move on to Harold Deathwolf. Deathwolf. Did they make a character him?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Did they? I don't even know what he looks like.
Stay tuned. George is gonna find him. We'll put him up on the screen.
Do it. Expert hunter, outflank 12 inches of the battlefield edge and more within 9 inches of the enemy. Pretty cool.
A little bit better. I mean,
yeah, it's not really.
The problem that's going to fail is the fine cast.
Badass wolf.
The fine cast is what's going to kill him.
George, do you have the fine cast picture?
Oh, the one that I had yesterday.
Yeah,
I'll call it up.
He does have the. Now I'm going to butcher this. Is this
Jarl.
the Jarl?
Jarl.
Jarl.
Yeah, you got it.
It's the jalapeno of Fenris.
The Jarl of Fenris rerolls 1 within 6 inches of Space Wolf unit, so you can reroll 1s. Lord of the Wolfkin, Thunderwolves, and Fenrisian rules use his leadership within 6 inches. The Mantle of the Troll King, add 1 to any saving throw, but not invulnerable saves, because that would be cheating. And do you have anything to say with that one? With Harold?
So our second entry, and winning the best of the... It's best of show of the dog and pony contest. Ruining your opponent's backfield when accompanied by, you can throw with wolf scouts
after turn 2. After turn 1.
Yeah, now shoot shit like plasma, and he runs around like a maniac. 5 attacks. Glacius is going nuts with D2 -2 AP. Bonus time, mortal wounds on a 6.
Boom.
Yeah, if you're gonna take one of the two, take him. He looks better. He does things a little bit better. I want to check real quick. He's a lot more points. You're looking at 63
You're
more
going to
points.
spend a lot of money on characters, but I don't know if it's going to be.
But if you're doing this as a pure, you want as many riders, you want as many wolves, you want that feel. Throw him in there. And even in other armies, I think he's got potential to do some things.
Right.
Yeah, he's okay. He's the better of the two.
Next, Crom, Dragon Gaze.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and and they hear the lamentation of their women.
That is good. That is good.
Is Crom also? Is he Finecast?
Yeah, he is.
So
It
he
looks like
so he
Crapcast
might
right
look
there.
like this.
No, actually, yeah.
There's a possibility that he might look like Rocky Road.
90 points. Jarl of Fenris. He gets that ability as well. Rerolls, of course. With that, he gets the Fierce Eye. Enemy units within 3 reduce the leadership by 1, which is kind of cool. And the Belt of Rust, which allows him to have a 4+ invulnerable.
If you're around us, every time I hear Belt of Rust now, I think of driving around Pittsburgh. If you've ever been to Pittsburgh, you've got like yellow belt, blue belt, purple belt, red belt. You have to be a karate master to travel around into in around Pittsburgh. At one point, I should go down there and ask if I could take the Rust Belt anywhere. Like,
We're like, what? Next one's oldie but a goodie. Logan Grimnar. 170 points. The Great Wolf. Reroll failed. Hit rolls within 6 inches of him. He's pretty cool. The King of Fenris. You don't need to take a morale, with Wolfguard within 6 of him. He has the Belt of Rust and he has Teleport Strike. Now, again, there is 2 different ways to see with him. So, you have anything to say with that one? With Mr.
Oh, straight up Logan, equipped with Terminator armor, 4+ save, Storm Bolter.
He's awesome.
Big ass axe. It comes with 2 profiles. You
gotta take him in the
entry.
chair.
I
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to go with
That's
Storm
awesome.
Rider. My dad
I'm
had
sorry.
a car like that.
Storm Rider. Do you mean this?
Oh, Merry Christmas.
He's 100. I'm sorry, this is bad for radio. 190
Actually,
points. Great Wolf. Reroll fail hits rolls of within 6 inches. Again, he's awesome when it comes to the Storm Rider. I like the car better than that one.
Look,
so.
he bumps to he bumps to 12 wounds. He now sticks out like a sore thumb, though. Not to mention the model's ugly as hell, as
Thank you.
we've
I was gonna
obviously
say
seen.
we joke. Great
But
model.
he has awesome saves.
You don't like that? Seriously, you don't like the chariot or?
I like the El Camino. What was that? Was that an El Camino?
Here's
Or
what I have.
that? The Monte Carlo.
Every time I see this,
Oh, Merry Christmas.
So my imagination was taken to the brink when superhuman soldiers could ride around on wolves. I'm good with that.
Takes it to a whole
I
new
think
level.
that putting him on the sleigh was jumping the shark.
Totally jumped the shark. You had me until, and they waited till he was last on the release.
Yeah,
back
you
in
had
the
me
day.
until he was in a sleigh.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, do it again.
Yeah, the model itself. Besides,
Standalone model's awesome.
he's still really good. He's got awesome saves. What I like about this versus, let's take his like Samael from the Dark Angels, kind of on apples to oranges, right? So Sammy loses his ability to use some things when he jumps into Sableclaw. Logan jumps on a chariot and he can use. He has the full use of his axe. He's twice as fast. It's a good statistical model to take. It's 190 points.
I'm surprised there wasn't.
I don't
a third
know.
Party.
I don't know if you're getting 190 points worth, but I think it's worth taking if you want something fast that hits hard that wants to run around. It's good. Just be prepared.
If you're gonna run him just as a Terminator, beware. It is only available in Finecast.
That is true.
It's gonna be horrible.
And
make your own.
Yeah.
Make your own.
And with the
You have enough bits out there.
Yeah.
Make your
Just wolf your wolf.
Yep,
If you're
wolfy
if you're
wolf.
into fluffies,
Next one up,
or furries, you know what I'm talking about.
own. Right. Lucas, the Trickster.
Lucas.
The ugliest model in the range.
Oh, this?
Loki's alive. Can you believe it? He's up there. Loki, look who it is.
110 points. Blood Claw Hero. Reroll 1s to wound with Blood Claw keyword. Very cool. I like that. Master of Mischief. Subtract 1 from the leadership of all units within 3 inches of Lucas at the start of the morale phase during the duration of the phase. In addition, Lucas the Trickster cannot be your warlord. He always wanted to be king, but he can't. Of course.
Nope.
The Last Laugh. Of course, I'm kind of glad they did this because before it was kind of ridiculous. But if Lucas the Trickster is slain in the fight phase, both players roll a dice, re-rolling ties. If you are the lowest, nothing happens. But if you are the highest, the one that he has will immediately suffer D6 mortal wounds to that unit that you rolled off against. So, very cool.
Right, so he's got a decent stat line, along with his Doomsday Switch.
I think he's a lot better.
He's
now.
better.
Again, it's the ugly model syndrome, but he does have the pelt of the doppelganger. Your opponent must subtract 1 to hit any attacks from him when you're targeting Lucas the Trickster in the fight phase.
Fits with bad about the model because as a character, it has a lot of potential.
As
you
that
can probably
artwork,
make your
it looks
own.
great.
You can probably make your own. Again, with the bits that are out there, I would just make your own.
You know, George, leave that up because I want to do a quick side by side comparison. If we do,
no, bro,
I got to do. Hold on. If I get right there.
You know what? You know why you failed? You don't have freaking red hair.
Look at that. Look at that.
No,
I'm a slightly grayed Loki looking kind of dude. He's got an amazing red goatee of justice.
But he's an asshole. You're a bigger asshole.
Oh no, that you hit me right in the feels.
Again,
right where it gets me all happy.
Running low on time. Murder Fang.
Hey, wait, hold on. I wanted to say something about him. Look, again, I told you before he's got a decent stat line. He's not the most effective choice, but he has the crazy eyes factor. Every once in a while, you just got to play a game with a crazy dude.
Oh yeah,
I
would.
He's just fun to play.
I would play this guy. Absolutely. Murder Fang. 170 points. Murder Lust. Reroll failed charge rolls. Successful charges will increase your attack stat by 2 until the end of the turn. Again, this one can't be a warlord. Anything else with him?
7 wounds.
Is he supposed to be wolfing in a dreadnought? Is that how that works?
Murder Fang.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like he lost his shit inside the dreadnought.
I'd be like, look at the flowers,
what?
bro.
I don't know if he lost his shit inside of it or they figured out a way to put someone who already lost their shit into it. Into it.
It doesn't say
7
wolfen.
wounds, right? So he can hide in plain sight.
Right.
But you just can't charge him around willy-nilly.
He does win the ugliest ass model.
No,
I don't like the face.
I think he suffers from the cool factor. I think if you spend the time to paint him up, he's going to be the first one to die. But if you pick your targets carefully, you're going to go wipe them out.
I still think Lucas the Trickster gets ugliest model for this show.
Ugly.
Is that because I look so much like him? Is that what you're telling me?
No. It's just a horrible model. It's
again, everybody's favorite sorcerer is up. How do you say it?
Nigel.
Ninjarl. Nathan.
Y'all.
He comes in
Nathan the Stormcaller.
He does come in 2 different options, power armor and Terminator armor. The model is a classic. It is like the Barracuda, a CUDA classic car. He's cool.
Also, you could dread sock a motherfucker with him if you get the old school metal one.
Okay.
Yeah, you could knock somebody's.
That's a
teeth
classic right there. Again, I think half our listeners weren't even born yet when that was casted.
Spread eagle pose of every metal model from 1991
It's
to
like, thank you, New York.
Well,
2001.
and they double it up that it's a spread eagle model holding a spread eagle.
Spread eagle.
There's a lot of sexual tension that is designed into that model. Just saying.
He's
I'm talking about the Terminator one, the one that they did that weighs 16.75 pounds.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you take the Terminator
It's made out of
option?
solid lead.
138 for him in power armor. He is 153 in Terminator armor. Worth it almost every day, unless you want to use the classics, or if you're short on points.
He doesn't have a whole ton of changes on this.
No.
If you for some reason are 15 points out and this is the easiest way to figure it out, like you're on your way out the door and need to drop 15 points and throw something else in, or you just need to drop 15 points, great, take them as the other one. But there's so much that's coming to you with those 15 points that I just don't see.
Comes with runic Terminator armor, 4+ invulnerable. The Lord Tempest, he can add 1 to the psychic test made by himself. He comes with the psychic hood, which he adds 1 to deny enemy targets within 12 inches. Depending on this, just the staff of the Stormcaller will let you reroll 1 failed, deny the witch, just with him alone, during the opponent's psychic phase, and then he gets teleport strike. Not bad. I take him every day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd let him be my warlord or anything.
Would you pay for a collect call from the Stormcaller?
Collect? No.
Just no.
That's what voicemail's for.
Do they still have collect calling?
Yes.
Is that just a you were in
Only if
jail
you're
kind
in
of thing?
jail. Yeah.
I was gonna say, is that just that like, hey, look, I'm not coming home tonight. You probably know that because you're paying for a collect call. I'm gonna see you in a couple days.
All right, another oldie buddy goodie, Ragnar Blackmane, old school mofo.
Old. George,
I think you were still in high school.
Is he older than the Eldar Farseer?
Oh,
with the long hair.
Which one are we talking about?
The one with
you mean the one with the where he's posed, kind of like
with the pistol,
holding the sword on the side.
Yeah,
I think
the sword and the pistol.
I'm pretty sure the Farseer's older.
Yeah, is that still the oldest one in?
Rogue Trader
it's a great
and
model.
This is like
I wanted to say
hammer.
I want to say that
model.
the Eldar one was the oldest one still in production, but I
Comic
couldn't remember if it was him or
Kingdom
Ragnar.
Best Space Wolf model says on the chat, and I can wholeheartedly agree with him. Hands down for 141 points, I'd take him.
I can't put my arms down. That's also a really cool shirt. If we could put his model picture.
No, we get sued.
I can't put my arms down.
Motherfuckers.
All right, give it away as a free poster. I don't give a shit. I just want
Belt
to
to
see
Rust,
him and
he comes
Christmas
with the
Story
4+
put together.
invulnerable. He has the War Howl rerolls, field charge rolls, and any friendly Space Wolf units other than vehicles within 6. You're not going to see a friendly Space Wolf in battle. Jarl Fenris, of course, reroll 1s. Insane Bravado. If he does perform a heroic intervention, increase his attacks by D3 till the end of the turn. He already has 5, could have up to 8, already hitting on 2s. It's going to be ridiculous. And again, loyal companies, the death of, he does come with, or the option of, how do you pronounce these damn wolves?
So Vagnagir
Gergerberg
and Ulfriger. Erstaber to get the
And I
worm out.
apologize for anybody with this. I can't pronounce
Hey
them.
Anders, if you're out there, you can.
Can I
you
get a
can hit me up,
translation?
leave us a voicemail on how to pronounce these. Is it Svengir and Ulfger?
I don't know,
the
but with the
closest.
death of
That's a
them,
no
they are
bullshit
ignored for
try,
the purpose
like-
of morale. So they're considered to have the character keyword for purposes of shooting.
And it's 8 points for teeth and claws. Like,
I think it's worth it. I'd take them. You know what I would do? I would take the Forge World model.
Yes. Yes, I would.
Yeah, I would use those ones.
Yep.
Ulrich the Slayer. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he did finally. This guy got an updated model.
He did.
Yeah.
Before Ragnar.
Yeah. Now he's holding his.
I like that.
He's holding his
I
helmet.
actually like that one. For 110 points, he is Slayer Oath, reroll failed hits in the fight phase. Again, chaplain stats within 6 inches. If you kill a character or monster, Ulrich, you can add 1 to any wound rolls made by him in the fight phase or any Space Wolf model within 6. So this is
Slayer's
pretty cool.
Oath.
He does
That's a pretty
come with
badass
the wolf.
model. I would buy this just to paint this.
I think
model.
if I owned a game store, I worked in a brewery when I first started getting into brewery. We had stickers in the bathroom. So Lavery's Brewing Company is where I was at. Shout out, yo, good beer, Dolacan, best IPA on the planet. We had stickers in all the bathrooms that said employees must carve Slayer into their forearms before turning to work. Instead of where it had if I owned a game store, I would have that and change it to employees must carve Slayer's Oath into their arms before returning to work.
And of course, with Ulrich, he does have healing bombs. He's just like the medic. Within 3 inches, you can do a regain a wound with D3, and that will only do with infantry, biker, or cavalry. I like to say. You hate me with doing that. But again, you can also heal a multi-wound. You can heal a multi-wound character as well.
So that brings us to the end of the special characters.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to go into this.
I butchered a lot of names.
It's good.
That's right.
It's good.
I would have Ulrich.
That's where we're going to take a stop for this episode.
Yeah, because we're going good.
We're going to break this up into another one. We'll throw that out when we're going to record that live so you guys can join us. The reason we want to do this is because we're going to cover the rest of the non-special stuff. We're going to go over the HQs, troops, elites, the meat and potatoes. Like, this show was about the cool, sparkly stuff, all of the Affliction-style Gene characters. Everything with razzle dazzle jeans.
It was more of a nostalgia act.
I wear razzle dazzle jeans, so I can say that stuff. So we want to go over that. But what we also want to do is we want to take the second half of that show and let you guys plan your call in so that you have the questions, you have the things you want to debate with us about. So next show will be episode 4. We're going to go over this again, and then we're gonna give you guys a chance because obviously we ran a little bit long, so we can't take calls on this one. But we'll open those. If I wasn't long-winded, I don't think we'd.
And you smoke too. Just guess what? If you didn't smoke,
I would never shut the fuck up.
3 hours next time.
3 hours.
Really? If I stop smoking, we'll never stop talking. So we'll go over all of those next episode. We'll throw those out there to let you guys know what it is. We know Orktober's coming, so we're going to be going over those as well. So the second part of this might end up being a bonus episode that's recorded on an off day because we do have things for Orktober that are planned.
I was pissed I didn't get my white dwarf today.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I was very mad. I went to the friendly local game store and they didn't have it. I was #heartbroken.
#heartbroken.
It'll be there tomorrow, Saturday, man.
I am #heartbroken that we have to end this show. It's been a shit ton of fun. Thanks for hanging out with us on the live. If you are listening recorded, thank you as well. If you're watching the video, you got to watch our ugly faces for a couple of hours, and we appreciate it. If you are listening to the audio, thanks for bringing us along to wherever you are listening to us from. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Do you know how many times I see posts online that show Nuln oil spilled all over the place like an oil spill from the Exxon Valdez? Way too many. Never spill paint pots again with KW Design's anti-spill paint pot holder. And the way you people spill washes, at only $3.50, it pays for itself in the first 2 minutes of your painting sessions. They also carry a range of custom printed bases, and as a Necron player, one of my favorite items are the custom monolith crystals. They glow in the dark. To check out KW Design's eBay store, visit 40kpodcast.com/sponsors and click on the KW Designs banner. KW Designs is a proud sponsor of the 40K Podcast. Thanks for listening to the 40K Podcast. We hope you liked the show. If you did, there are a ton of ways you could help support the show. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Visit our website for all our social media links as well as a schedule of our next live shows. If you're listening to the recorded version on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you click that fucking notification bell so you never miss a show. An audio-only version of the show is also available on iTunes and Google Play. You can also subscribe to hear us right here on Twitch. If any of that is too much of a pain in the ass, dude, just tell a friend. We'd really appreciate it. We're going to go sober up, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace, bitches.